Oh, hi. I've been asked to do a makeup tutorial, and since I didn't have to work today, I thought I would film myself getting ready this morning. Okay, in full disclosure, I am no makeup guru. I'm just somebody who's worn makeup for, I don't know, the last 4 decades and has figured out what works well for me. My current routine is 10 drugstore products. You can find them all on Amazon. I do not like to spend money on makeup because I don't want to. I want to spend my money on other things. So with that in mind, I'll walk you through what my makeup routine is. Okay, let me start by saying I have no idea how people film makeup tutorials. I've got my phone stuck to my bathroom mirror with this tiny little light above it. I can hardly see this close because I don't have my reading glasses on. So we're just gonna do the best we can. Okay, so the first thing is that all my lotions and potions have been put on my face already. So if you're interested in what that looks like, I've got a video somewhere on my feed. I have this towel on my head. It's a couple weeks ago, I think. But so, lotions, potions, everything's hydrated and ready to go. All right, don't come at me with I'm doing things in the wrong order because honestly, I have no idea what order you're supposed to do things in. I just do them in an order that makes sense for me. Okay, the first thing I do is under eye concealer, and this is by Catrice. It's called Under Eye Brightener, and this is what I use for my concealer. So I take this angled brush, I just dip it in there, 1 or 2 times, sort of pat it in the lid, and then put it on underneath. You don't need a lot of this. Okay, so I'm just sort of, blending it in. I sort of pull it down my face. I've got a brown spot over here. I sort of tap it on that. And just, bring it down, put some on my nose because my nose is red. And I know this light isn't great, but you can kind of see the difference. So let me do the other eye. Okay, next up is foundation, except I don't really use foundation. I use the combination of these 2 products. So the first thing I put on is this L'Oreal Lumi Glotion, and then I follow it up with this Color Science. This is their Face Shield Flex. It's SPF 50, and it is tinted. I think it comes in like 4 or 5 different shades. Okay, so for the Gloomy lotion or the Lumi Glotion, I just use like that much. Rub it in between my 2 fingers and then just rub it on my face. I don't use a brush. I found that like using a brush sometimes would leave like brush strokes. And so I've just found that using my hands is the best. All right, next up is this Color Science. This, if you've never seen this, I think this is really the key to the way my makeup looks the way it does. It comes out white. I do the same thing and I just pat it around my face. This, you don't have to know like the exact match for your skin. It just sort of blends in. So like this is the same color I wear in the summer and in the winter. Okay, so I've got that on now. I could and probably should do a whole video just on this because I love this. It would be hard to make me use something else as a foundation. I just can't imagine liking anything better. So this I cannot recommend enough. Okay, one of the other things that I should have said is you're gonna see I don't have any powders in anything that I'm putting on. Everything is cream based. And I just found that as I've gotten older, anything that was like powder based, it just like settled in my wrinkles and sort of like accentuated my fine lines. And so I'm like, I'm not gonna do that. And so I use all like cream based products. Okay, the next 2 things I use are both Makeup by Mario, and one is the shaping stick and the other is the blush stick. And again, I'm no expert, but I will show you what I do. So I just think this is like foolproof. So I put some up here, I put some here, put some under my cheekbones, maybe a little on my nose, and that's kind of it. Then I take this angled brush and just start to blend it in. I don't rub, I just sort of like press it into my skin. So I do that and then I'll finish the rest. Okay, I've got this shaving stick on. I'm not gonna say that I use this to contour because I don't know how to contour. I think about it just like putting some color and definition back in my face. So I really like this. Okay, and then the blush stick, Makeup by Mario, I just tap my a blush brush on and just sort of, again, press into my skin. I don't rub because I don't want any of the, the base layer that I put on to get rubbed off. So I just sort of tap it in, okay? Okay, The other thing that I do with both the contour stick brush and this brush is just sort of like, you know, whatever's left on the brush, just sort of dab it in other places. I don't know why I do that, but I just do. Okay, up next are my eyes. So years ago at Laura Mercier, I was having my makeup done and they taught me this method that's called tight lining. If you want more details on it, you could go look it up because I know I'm not gonna do it justice explaining it. But I take a flat tip eyeliner pencil and I do it underneath my eyelashes, sort of like on the waterline, if that's what you call it. So let me do one and then I'll show you the difference. Okay, can you see the difference? I did this one and not that one. I think it really just like defines my lash line and that's all I use eyeliner for. Okay, so they're both done. I think the question I get asked the most about the makeup is about my eye makeup, and it's really foolproof. It's this stick. This is all I use. I found this on Amazon. I think it's called Julep. I'll put it in my Amazon storefront. But this is, what color is this? Oh God, I have no chance of reading that. Mauve. It's just a mauve color. Years ago, somebody told me that if you have hazel eyes, like a purpley mauve is the best color. And this is so easy to use. I literally draw it on like it's a crayon and just sort of sweep it back and forth a few times. I do take a little brush and just sort of blend it in, and that's that. Okay, next I'm gonna pop some color on my lips. I'm not a big lipstick person because I have pretty big lips and I feel like when I put lipstick on, sometimes that's like all you see. So I'm a sucker for like a lip gloss, a lip oil. This is Clinique Black Honey. If you were a teenager in the 80s and 90s like I was, you'll probably remember this. I saw that it was like, I don't know if it ever went away, but like it was released again or they started making a big deal of it again. And so I picked one up recently and it's as good as I remember. So, you know, just an easy color. I think a lot of people could wear this. Okay, next up are my brows. I have a whole video on my brows somewhere a couple weeks ago on my feed, so you could go find that. But I'll walk you through quickly what it is that I do. So the first thing I do is I take a spoolie and I just brush my eyebrows in and down. Okay, so in and down. Then I take a very fine pencil. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, it's like really thin. This is the Kosas one, and I really do like it. And now I use this to sort of fill in all the areas that are sparse that I think need a little more. I'm gonna do this in my real mirror and then I'll be back. Okay, so you can see what a big difference the pencil makes. I filled this one in, haven't done that one yet, so let me do this other one. Okay, that's step one and step two of the eyebrows. The last step is this Anastasia, I think it's like tinted volumizing brow gel. I take this one's really small because I accidentally ordered the travel size, but it does come in a bigger one. But I pull out the little spoolie, it's got product on it, and I swipe it through this way and then sort of fluff things up, and then I'm done. So I cannot do this in the phone. I'll be right back. Okay, so now you can see the difference between the one I just did and this one. I have started to get gray hairs in my eyebrows, so that's fun when you're 51. But I have found that this helps cover them. It also holds everything in place. Okay, and my last step is my mascara. And so I curl my eyelashes with just an old school eyelash curler. And then I'm currently using this Maybelline Colossal Bubble Lash, which I really like. So let me put that on. Okay, so did this one, now onto that one. Okay, so that's it. 10 products. Less than 10 minutes. It actually took me 8 minutes to film this. So probably in real life, it's like 5 minutes, and everything you can buy on Amazon. So it's really affordable. It's also easy to travel with. So I'll put everything in my Amazon storefront. Let me know if you have any questions. I think that's it. Okay, bye.